Welcome back, everyone, to another deep dive. Today, we're traveling back to 19th century France. We're going to be looking at Allan Kardec and, more specifically, his book, The Spirit's Book.
Oh, yeah. This is a fascinating one.
Now, for anyone unfamiliar, what makes Kardec's work so unique is his use of mediums.
Right.
So he was actually using these individuals who believed they could talk to spirits, posing questions to the spirit world, and then compiling those answers.
And he wasn't, just blindly accepting everything these spirits were saying.
Oh, absolutely not.
He was really questioning and probing, challenging their responses. It's like this really engaging dialogue between, the world we know, the material world, and that spiritual realm.
It's like a cosmic interview in a way.
Yeah.
But for this particular deep dive, we're focusing on Part 3, Chapter 7, The Law of Society.
Okay.
And here, Kardec really gets into the nitty-gritty of our need for connection and how that impacts us both individually and as a society. And it's amazing how relevant this is even today.
Absolutely. And, Kardec, he starts with a really basic question. Is societal life natural for us? Like, is this just how we're supposed to be?
Right.
And the spirits answer a resounding yes.
It's like we're wired for it.
They argue that God created us, created us for society, giving us the tools like speech and other faculties, specifically designed for relationships and connection.
And it makes you think, right? Like, look around. We're always forming groups, finding our communities.
We're drawn to it.
Family, friends, colleagues. We crave that interaction.
It's almost like, are we really meant to be alone? Or are we, as the spirits suggest, meant to be together,
Because they do seem to suggest that isolation leads to they use the term brutish existence.
Right, like it hinders our growth as individuals.
And it's like the opposite then is this idea of individuals complementing each other, moving forward together.
Exactly, like we need each other to really progress.
Now, Kardec, being Kardec, challenges this a bit. He asks, what about people who genuinely enjoy being alone? Is that inherently a bad thing? I think we can all relate to that, especially in today's world.
And the spirits, their response is, well, it's definitely food for thought.
Oh, yeah.
They say that even if you find satisfaction in solitude, it might be coming from a place of selfishness. Like you're essentially useless to others if you're completely withdrawn.
Strong words.
They compare it to being satisfied with, drunkenness.
Oh, wow.
It's like a form of indulgence, something that stops us from growing and giving back.
So they're drawing a distinction between healthy solitude, time for reflection.
Right.
Versus complete isolation.
Detachment from responsibility from everyone else.
But Kardec goes even deeper. What about those who isolate themselves for what seem like really noble reasons?
Yeah.
Avoiding the, quote-unquote, bad influences of the world, or dedicating themselves to religious contemplation, self-sacrifice. How do the spirits address that?
Well, they argue that actually doing good, being active in your goodness, trumps just withdrawing passively.
Interesting.
They say spiritual seeking is valuable, of course, but it needs to be expressed.
Through actions.
Through action, exactly.
Well,
through engaging with the world, showing love, being charitable.
It can't just be internal.
No, it needs to manifest to make a real difference.
It's like they're saying our spiritual growth is kind of tied to our responsibility to others.
Yeah. It's not enough to just seek personal enlightenment,
It has to have an outward impact.
Exactly. We have to make the world better, too. And this actually brings us to a really interesting part where Kardec talks about vows of silence.
Oh, right. That's often seen as a path to enlightenment.
Yeah. And the spirits' take on it is, it's pretty surprising, actually.
What do they say?
So they do say that silence can help you reflect and connect with the spiritual realm.
Right. Makes sense.
But actually taking a vow of silence, they see that as foolishness.
Oh, wow.
They're more against abusing our abilities, not necessarily using them.
I see. So silence is okay when?
When it's used for good, like introspection, not for cutting yourself off from everyone.
It's about balance then.
Exactly. It makes me think about how noisy our world is these days.
Constantly bombarded with information.
Do you think we've kind of, forgotten how important silence is?
Maybe.
Yeah.
For connecting with ourselves, with something bigger?
Right. The spirits, they really challenge us to be more mindful about silence.
Not just isolating ourselves, but using it as a tool.
To find peace, to be more clear-headed. Okay, so moving on a bit, Kardec, he brings up something else, something he observed in nature.
Okay.
Why do animals abandon their offspring when they can fend for themselves?
Interesting question.
Seems simple, but the spirit's answer is, well, it kind of gets to the heart of what makes human society different.
In what way?
They say we're driven by more than just survival.
We have this urge to progress, to evolve.
Right. And for that, we need these social ties.
So animals, they're mostly guided by instinct, but we humans, there's more to it.
Exactly. It's not just about keeping the species alive. It's about constantly becoming better, smarter, more moral.
And this ties into family. Right.
Absolutely. Family, the spirits say, that's the bedrock of all our social connections. It's essential. Because it's like the training ground for how to live together, how to evolve together.
It all starts there.
It's the foundation.
Yeah.
So, it's not just some random social thing we made up. Family, it's like a natural law, crucial for our development.
Wow. They really emphasize that connection.
And they actually warn us about what happens if we start to let those family ties weaken.
What happens?
They say it leads to, well, selfishness. It gets magnified.
And that would obviously affect society.
Exactly. If the foundation crumbles, everything built on top of it starts to fall apart too. Our empathy, our compassion, the things that hold us together.
That's pretty scary, especially when you think about how family structures are changing these days.
Yeah. If the spirits are right, we need to be very careful about those changes and what they might mean for everyone.
So to summarize what we've been talking about here, this law of society, really is a fascinating concept. This law of society, how our individual actions impact the whole.
Right. It's like Kardec, through the spirits, is saying, look, everything you do matters. It has ripple effects.
It's almost like we're all part of this giant tapestry, each thread connected, creating the overall picture.
Yeah, a beautiful way to put it.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Kardec and the spirit's perspective on society, what are the main takeaways here?
I'd say first and foremost, they see societal life as absolutely essential. It's not an option. It's a necessity.
Because it's through society that we progress.
Right.
As individuals and as a species.
Exactly. And that's why they're so against isolation. They see it as stagnation, almost a step backward.
And wow, they didn't hold back with that comparison to drunkenness, did they?
No, not at all. It just shows how strongly they feel about it. That true fulfillment comes from connecting, from contributing.
Not from shutting yourself away.
Right. And they also touch on silence, which is interesting. They acknowledge its value, but
there's a limit, right?
Yeah.
It can't be an excuse to withdraw completely.
It's about finding that balance, spending time in contemplation, but then also, going out there and putting your goodness into action.
Walking the walk, not just talking the talk.
Exactly. And of course, the biggest emphasis is on family.
That's the foundation, they say.
The bedrock. Not just some social construct, but a natural law. It's where we learn how to be part of something bigger.
And it's where, we develop empathy, responsibility, those crucial things.
Which then, in turn, helps society as a whole to function, to evolve.
And the warning they give about weakening family ties, that's pretty sobering.
It is, because if that foundation crumbles, well, it affects everything.
Our ability to connect, to care for each other, it all starts to unravel.
And, it's hard not to think about how that relates to our world today.
How family structures are changing, how communities are evolving.
Yeah. If the spirits are right, we need to pay attention to those changes. Really think about what they mean for the future.
Because ultimately, it's about our collective future.
It is.
Well, this has been a truly fascinating deep dive into Allan Kardec's The Spirits book, and particularly this idea of the law of society.
Definitely gives you a lot to think about.
It does, and I hope it's encouraged you, our listeners, to ponder your own role in society, how you connect, how you contribute. Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep diving deep.